Hello all, this is Nitya Priya. In this video, we are going to see about classes and objects and the constructors. We are going to see all the details about classes, objects and the constructors. Okay, so first classes and objects. What is a class? When object oriented programming is done, we know pretty well Java is a complete object oriented programming language. So, and who cannot act without a class? Okay, comes to objects. Whenever we handle a class, we should always go with an object because objects only execute the class members. Without an object, a class members cannot be executed. It will be just like that. It will not be executed, it will not give any output, right? So always class and object go hand in hand. Whenever there is a class, there should be an object for the class. Okay, right. So that is the concept first. What is a class? A class is a group of variables and methods. A class, what all a class can have is, it can have variables and methods. Okay, variables can be otherwise called as attributes of the class, and methods are the functions that are executed by the class members, by the class attributes. Okay, so these variables and methods are called as the members of a class, right? So these variables and methods that are the class members are encapsulated, they are binded inside the class with opening brace and a closing brace, right? So this is the general form of a class. We define a class with the keyword class followed by the name of the class, then opening parenthesis, opening brace, then followed by the attributes with the data type. Okay, so data type variable 1, data type variable 2 and so on. Number of variable it can have. Then the methods. Okay, so the methods will have a return type followed by the method name followed by the parameter list within parenthesis. Okay, so followed by that in the next line we have a block, that is an opening brace and a closing brace would be there. Inside that there would be the statements of the particular method. So like this, any number of methods can be inside a class, and finally we close a class. So this is the general form of a class, right? So we saw class and we saw the general form of a class. Now we are going to see about objects, right? So as I said, object is something that invokes, that executes the class members, right? So what is the nature of an object? An object is simply a variable. Okay, it is a variable that is created on the class type, right? So when we declare a variable, when we create a variable, when we create an integer variable, we say int a, right? So like that, if you want to create an object, we'll say class name space object name, right? So what is object? That is a variable that has the class type, right? That is the user defined variable created in class type, right? Okay, so the members of the class can be executed only with the help of the object. So we have to always keep in mind that the class members can be executed only outside the class. So how come the class members be brought outside the class? Only by the help of the objects. So first, after getting out of the class, we have to create an object of the class type. Then using the object, we can invoke the class members. That is how we can execute the class, right? Okay. So an object can be also called as instance of a class. So creating an object is called as instantiation. Okay, right. Then syntax of creating objects. So object oriented programming languages have different syntax for creating objects. For in C++ we follow a syntax, in Java we follow a syntax, in PHP we follow a syntax. So there are different syntax for different object oriented programming languages. Here in Java, the syntax that is followed is class name space object name equals new class name followed by open and closed parenthesis. If any argument is there, we can give the argument inside the parenthesis. If not, we'll leave the parenthesis empty. Okay, so that is the syntax of creating objects, right? So the method of the class can be invoked with the dot operator using the object. For example, if the object is O, we can say, and the method is M1, we can say O dot M1, right? So that is how the objects can invoke the class methods or the class attributes, right? So like that, a class can have any number of objects, otherwise instances. A class can have any number of instances, right? So this is an example for a class and an object. Class C2 is the name of the class. Here we have a method. We don't have any attribute here. We have only one method, which is meth1, meth1, right? So inside that I print something, hello from C1. Okay, right. Because C1 is the name of the main class, we gave C1, right? So class C, we close class C2, then we come out, we create a main class, which is C1. So in C1 we create the main function. So inside that, inside the main method, we create the object for the class, the first class C2. So we create like C2 space obj1 equals new C2. So that is the syntax to be followed, right? Okay, so here obj1 is the object and the method that's to be executed is meth1. So we say obj1 dot meth1. Then we close the main method, then we close the main class. So this is the best example that explains you the concept of class and object, right? Now we come to constructors. Okay, so simply when you understand clearly the concept of classes and objects, we can understand easily constructors, right? So what's a constructor? A constructor is it will look like a method. What is a method? A method will be having a header followed by a block of statements within curly braces, right? So the same way a constructor can also be created. The difference between a method and a constructor is constructor will have the name of the class first. Okay, the method will have any name, but the constructor will have only the name of the class. That is the first thing to be kept in mind. And number two is the constructor has no return type. We know pretty well the method will be always having a return type. If it doesn't have a return type, we can at least say void, right? See, no, here for meth1 we have given void because meth1 does not have any return type and we have given void. But constructors won't have any return type. Okay, we cannot, we neither specify it as void nor an a return type, int or a char or string, nothing we can say. We can say only the constructor name, that is the name of the class, right? Then the third thing to be kept in mind is the constructor won't be called explicitly. Whenever a method is going to be executed, it's going to be invoked, that will be invoked by the object of the class, but constructors won't be invoked like that. See, no, the method is called, right? obj1 dot meth1, we do that. Whenever we do that, the object will invoke the method, but constructors won't be called like that. See, no, right? So then how the constructor can be called, how that will be executed? When the object of the class is created, automatically the constructor will be executed, right? So these are the three things that are to be kept in mind. I repeat, the first thing is constructors have the name of the class, right? Number two is constructors don't have a return type. Number three is there is no explicit call for the constructor. Whenever the object of the class is created, the constructor will be automatically called, right? And like methods, the constructors will have parameters. It will have parameters, but it will not have a return type, right? This is an example for constructors, a simple example, right? Class cons. So, you know, the class name is cons, and so the constructor is also cons, followed by open and close parenthesis because it is considered as a method. So we'll be having it with open and closed parenthesis. So we print something, hello from constructor, right? We close constructor, we close the class. Then we come to the main class. So we create an object for the class cons. So, you know, cons space object equals new cons. The object is created. So when this is done, constructor would be called. I have given constructor is called in comments. Okay. So see the output. I first compile it, then I execute it. So I get hello from constructor. Okay, so this is the output we got from the prompt when I execute the program, right? So this is another example for constructor. Here I've given the same constructor with arguments, that is the difference. Okay, so class has two attributes a and b, a cons has two arguments x and y, all are integers. Now we are going to add a and b through x and y. Okay, so what do I do? X is assigned to a and y is assigned to b. Okay, now we have a method which adds a and b, the class attributes. Okay, so a plus b is computed, it will be printed like. Okay, so we close add method and we close the class also. Now we come to the main class. So we have the main function, we create an object. So when we create an object, we should pass the parameter, because constructor has two parameters, right? So we have to pass the values for the parameters. For x we pass 5 and for y we pass 6. Okay, so constructor will be called. So x and y would be assigned to a and b when constructor is called. So automatically when I call add, when I invoke the method add, it will add a and b. So for 5 and 6 it will add, it will give the result 11. See, no? So this is the output we get. First we compile it, then we run it. So adding a and b using constructor, we get a plus b equals 10. Okay, so I hope you understand. Now it is constructor overloading. We saw classes and objects, we saw constructors, then it is constructor overloading. So what is overloading? We already saw overloading in methods. Okay, so constructors can also be overloaded like methods. So overloading says, when method overloading is done, we have a same method name for different methods with different parameters. Okay, when the parameter list is different, the return type will also be different. Okay, so that is the concept of method overloading. So before seeing constructor overloading, you should have a clear understanding about method overloading. So now we come to constructor overloading, right? If you have any doubt, you watch that video, method overloading, then you come here at constructor overloading, right? So the same way constructors can also be overloaded. They have same constructor name with different parameters, but it will not have any return type. Okay, right? For calling every different constructor, we have to create different objects. So because we already said when we talked about class and objects, a class can have any number of instances, right? So any number of objects we can create for the class, for a single class. So when constructor overloading is done, you have to combine the concept here. More than one constructors would be there. So when to execute every constructor, we have to create new objects. Okay, so we are creating multiple instances. That is the concept, right? So see this example. Cons is the name of the class. You can give any name. Okay, because it's constructor, I gave cons. Right? You can give any name for the class, right? So A, B, C are the variables of the class. Then cons constructor. So in the first constructor we pass two integers. Okay, and we simply assign x to a and y to b. Okay, so we just add a and b, right? So that's about the first constructor. See the second constructor, cons of x, y, z. Okay, so x, y, z are assigned to a, b and c respectively. That are the class members, class attributes, right? So we print all, we add all and we print a, b, c are added, the result is printed. Okay, so we close the second constructor here, we close the class. Okay, so that is about the left side portion of the program. Go to right side, we create the main class. So inside the main function we print something, constructor overloading. Then we are printing constructor overloading, then we create object. I said for when constructor overloading is done, for calling every constructor we have to create new instance. Okay, so obj1 calls the first constructor and obj2 calls the second constructor. So first constructor has two parameters for x and y. You just compare the first constructor with that, the signature will match, right? And obj2 will call the second constructor. Here we pass 3 values, it will just match the second constructor. Okay, now this is how constructor is overloaded. We have the same name, we have different parameter list, right? So whenever the parameter list matches, the particular constructor will be called. So 5 6 first constructor will be called, 5 6 7 second constructor will be called. Okay, so obj1 calls the first constructor, obj2 calls the second constructor, right? So we get the output like constructor overloading, a plus b equals 11 and a plus b plus c equals 18. Okay, I hope you understand the video. So we have seen classes and objects completely, then we saw constructors and also constructor overloading, right? Thanks for watching.